Hey, well, welcome back to the Arc Path.
My name is Bernard,
And I'm Casey.
and we are celebrating. Podcasts are dated, so I don't even want to say we're celebrating a new year.
Well, I think we could say we're celebrating a new year, but we'd have to admit that we don't operate on what we call the Gregorian calendar, where there's one new year.
That's the words.
So it is Happy New Year because it's a new week.
I like that. So we're gonna shift that paradigm today. We're gonna move from a 365-day calendar year
Hmm.
to a 52 week. No, how does that go? So 52 weeks. No, I lost myself.
So we'll come back to that. There's a lot of different ways we look at time. And thank you for spending your time with us today. And what we're doing is we're recognizing that time is a construct. And as a construct, we create what time, how it's measured, how it's experienced, how it comes together. And yes, we are engaging a new year. But the concept is that who told you it's a new year and why? Maybe your culture is the Chinese New Year versus the what we call the American New Year. That's a very different number. Or you look
Yeah.
at the Hebraic system of annual years, very different number. And so we want to invite you to who's telling you what time it is, and how do you measure if you're behind or if you're ahead or where you're going next. So I'm just setting it up. Now we can
L- l- the-
venture back into uh,
Timelines,
our timeline
timelines.
structure.
Yes.
What are we doing today? What are we talking about?
Well, again, it's New Year's. It's there's newness. So there's a transition between one year to the next, and
Yes.
there's supposed to be this magic wall that we move from one timeline to another, and it's supposed to mean something. It's supposed
Mm-hmm.
to look like something,
Mm-hmm.
and then for those that can experience it, it's like, wow, look, they just look at that. They change in this new year, and
Mm-hmm.
we look at that, we celebrate that, and go, I want that. I want to change, that newness. It's a hallmark of a new time period.
Yeah. And new is rich, new is opportunity, new is available. And the invite we have for you today is make today a new day.
Yeah.
Even if, like, I'm just imagining when you're listening, if it's 5 o'clock in the afternoon, um, who's telling you that the new day doesn't start until 12 o'clock tonight?
Mm.
Because there are other systems in the world that says the new day starts at dusk. And so, what is the operating system that you have for today's a new day? I'm going to start a new day right now. These are just concepts that we invite you to recognize that on the arc path, you can begin to acknowledge. Gosh, there's a lot more going on, and there's a lot more possibility than I have entertained up to this point. If you've allowed the watch on your arm to control what day it is, what time it is, what you're going to do, and how much time you have left, I once wrote an article called "There's a God on Your Arm," and it's called the Sun God. Um, that's how that clock thing works. It's
Yeah.
just based on the sun.
Yeah. Scary.
Scary, scary. I follow the moon god. No.
Well, it's funny because I love how you brought the arc path into it, because a big part of what Casey and I recognize is that we need to restart our day about 50 times a day.
Hmm.
This concept of, well, this day is already gone. It is what it is. You messed up my day, so my day is done. And whatever the trigger, whatever the event, can I choose to restart
Hmm.
my day in this moment?
Hmm.
And the answer is yes. And really, this is what the arc path is about: is acknowledging, going, wait a minute, this is not going well. I want it to go well. So I'm going to restart this moment,
Hmm.
and I'm going to take this moment to reset me. And when I reset me, and then I re-engage my environment.
The irony I'll share with you as a listener is that in order for us to do this podcast, we had to reset the entire system.
Yes, that's right.
And sometimes things need to be reset. Anything electronic, you just got to unplug it every once in a while and hit the reset button. And you and I are no different.
Um,
We need to reset. So as Bernard shares that we reset 50 times a day, it's not because we're miserable 49 times. It's because we know the value of taking the reset breath. It's the
yes.
value of recognizing I want to show up, not with the baggage of what happened last hour. I
Mm,
want to show up restored. So we go through this arc path of acknowledging where am I at, what am I experiencing, how do I want to go forward. We heal is by releasing that which is behind us. We restore that which we're wanting and reaching for, and then that kingdom moment is that present breath. It's that present engagement, and if you don't make your way through the process of arc to get to the kingdom moment, you're not resetting enough,
Um,
because that moment isn't pulling all of the things of the past, and it's not afraid of what's happening in the future. It says it's all complete right now.
but so what? So let's say I don't reset. I
Yep.
mean, this is a is this like a spiritual thing? Is this like a monk discipline that we're learning, that we're preaching, we're pushing, whatever you want to call it?
Hmm.
Why do this? Why is it so important to take the time and to, again, it's reprogramming. You actually have to reprogram your
Yep.
brain to do that. And so it takes effort. Like
Yeah.
you're gonna have to do this. Why do it?
Why do it? Because the world is eroding at a fast rate. Because entropy is taking things down, because randomness is not how you were designed. You were designed with purpose. You were designed with a contribution to make and a calling to fulfill. But if you leave it to randomness, you'll miss out. And if you leave it to just say, well, I hope it's better today. And then that's the reset button. 6 hours later, you go back and go, yeah, I hope tomorrow's better. And then eventually you give up on hope.
Yeah.
And so along the arc path, we recognize that there is a difference between being motivated to see an outcome and the discipline to see it through. There's a difference between I'm going to make a resolution to have a different day, and I'm going to pursue the revelation that says, wow, I see it different.
Yeah.
Because how you do see the day is how it will go.
I love that. I love that. And he's so eloquent in the way he described that. I'm going to be a whole lot less eloquent. The reason to do it is you're running a relay race. This
Mm,
is a baton. Somebody just came and they handed you, it's not a baton. I'm not going to say the word. They handed you something else that's not good. Now you're holding it. And now, before you go into your next conversation, your next meeting, what are you going to do? You have a choice. You could either let this go or you could hand it off to the next person. And guess what happens? That next person is going to hand it off to the next person, and this is what happens in our world every day. If you don't release the garbage that you've been handed
mhm.
and reset, guess what happens? You pass it on. But you pass it on to your family, to your friends, to your coworkers, to your customers, your vent. Like, these are the people in your life. We're not talking about strangers on the other coast. We're talking about, this is your personal community. So stop passing on garbage.
Yeah. And there's a high expectation if you've ever watched a relay race. Whoever you see, if you've ever seen somebody drop the baton in the relay race, there's this huge letdown. I mean, it's like,
Done
oh
that.
my gosh. I mean, did you not practice? Did you not train? Is this not the one thing to do the handoff? I mean, come on, anybody can run, quote unquote. You know, I'm exaggerating, but you've got to get the handoff right. That expectation is called a should.
Hmm.
And the should is what corrupts your values, and you compromise what you can do in this world because somebody says, here, take this, here, take this, here, take this.
Yes.
And sometimes what the here, take this is, hey, I'm going to spit in your face, I'm going to slap you, and I'm going to pull your hair and take this. And we go, no. But yet we have to recognize, and this is what you're calling us to do, is drop that.
Yes.
Let go of that.
Oh,
You don't have to take a baton from anybody else in this world. Um, but you do have to be responsible for what you accept and what you do with what you accept.
yeah. And what that looks like is sarcasm. What that looks like is bad words, bad gestures, underhanded comments, physical. Somebody physically hurts you, emotionally hurts you, mentally hurts you. It's not okay. It's not okay. And the reality is, if you don't recognize, hey, that wasn't okay, what just happened to me, I'm going to reset
Hmm.
before I move forward. If I don't, I'm not the next meeting I'm going to go to, I'm not going to hand love. I'm going to take the baton and go, hit the
Yeah.
person on the head, because
You
I just hit on the head.
you call it a baton, but it looked like a dagger. Here, hold this.
I'm giving you love,
I
Casey.
take the love. And this is why we jokingly embrace resetting 50 times a day.
Yes.
Because what a joy to know that it is that freeing. Along the arc path, we talk about living above the line versus below the line. And a lot of times when people get into that concept, they feel stuck below the line. But it literally, to come above the line is a reset. To come
Yes.
above the line is a
Yeah.
just a snap of a breath. It's an acknowledgement to, oh, I don't have to be here.
Yeah.
I choose to be where I want to be, and I have the opportunity to release that and go somewhere else. And so, as we go into a new year, remember the new year is the new moment. The new moment is the new you.
Mm,
The new you is however you choose to show up. How would you like to show up today?
I like that. I like that. I go back and start this moment again. Now that you know what you know now,
Hmm.
so you have it. This is knowledge. We can just give you. Here's the baton. This is knowledge. It's up to you to believe it. It's up to you to bring it into your life. It's up to you to acknowledge that this moment. Going, man, I just got something bad.
Hmm.
I need healing. You go, oh, I'll be fine. No, you won't. No, you will not. It's just subtle. You
Yeah.
will not be fine. Stop that. And then you go from healing. Now I need restoration. That
Hmm.
that that piece going. Oh, no. What do I want to hand off? Now I've been restored from whatever event, conversation, and then I walk into a kingdom moment where what I'm handing off is this intimacy. It's this connection. It's this genuineness. Going, hey, you know what? At 10:02 this morning, I wasn't okay, but at 10:05, I'm better. And so what you're able to hand off is this genuineness of you, and it's an expression of love that we talk about on the Arc Path.
And so, Bernard, I want to thank you for taking knowledge to belief, but even taking it the next step that's absolutely crucial is action.
See, that's why I leave that to you, Casey, because you get to do the hard things.
Oh,
I was just trying to be the good guy, and I did.
you
Because
did.
I'm just telling you, who doesn't want to believe?
Yeah.
Who doesn't want to believe? I want to believe, right? But believe is action. So
And as Bernard walked you through the what we would consider the simplicity of the arc path, and why do we go over it all the time, is because we want to bring it into action at what I would call the subconscious level, which is habit, where really it's discipline to say this is easy. It's like turning off a light switch in the room that you always turn off. It's no big deal. At least that happens in my house, where I'm sitting in the room and then the light went off, and I went, "Hey, I'm still here." Oh, just a habit. Or I've been locked out of the house before. These are just things that happen in my house. It's like there's just it's natural, it's order, it's system, it's because it's life giving,
yeah,
and the arc path is life giving, and that's what I was highlighting as you went through acknowledging, healing, restoring, and kingdom. You were putting it into action.
yeah,
To simply have the knowledge that the arc path is available. Well, everybody here who's listening already knows.
yes,
To believe that it's better for Bernard and Casey is very possible. To believe that it's better for me as a listener is very possible. But again, knowledge and belief without action leaves you dead on the road.
yes,
And that's really what we're inviting you to know
yeah.
here today is um, let's get into action. Let's start. Let's move. Let's go. Let's activate. And out of that place, you'll find these revelations, because revelations are not static. Revelations are action and motion to bring a newness of understanding.
Ah, love that newness of understanding. So I'm going to give you a task, a chore, and I want it on my desk by tomorrow morning. So this chore is you're going to create your own calendar. Whatever your age is today, you're gonna live, let's say, 100 years. Everybody, all of you, I'm gonna limit your lifespan to 100 years, and so you have whatever 50 years left to go. Let's say, how are you gonna live those 50 years? And now I'm gonna multiply them because I'm gonna say every week is a year, so that's 52 times 50. Okay, do the math. I'm not gonna do the
Mm-hmm.
math. It's
Mm-hmm.
250, 60, something like that. Um, I just added years to your life. I think that's what the arc path is it the instead of sleeping through this life going, this wasn't good, this wasn't good, this wasn't good. It's every moment is precious, and the moments that were not well, we get to reset those moments. It adds years to your life. So let's celebrate the new year, but let's also celebrate our lifetime. So create your calendar today.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Pondering with you as I created my
I
calendar.
know.
As
I
hmm,
visualized it. I saw
I
it.
did. It was engaging. And I hope you are too. What are you going to put on your calendar? And as Bernard and I hinted at earlier, we were reflecting on the fact that we live 52 years in every year of the traditional calendar.
Yes.
Maybe you've heard of how fast dog years happen. We have kingdom years, and the kingdom year is not, it's not rushed. So it's not, oh my gosh, that seems so intense and so fast. Well, it moves, but it's a understanding that um, life is happening now.
Yes.
And so if I'm not resetting every week as if it's a new year, I've missed out on so much.
Oh.
And there's power and there's opportunity in kingdom experience that it moves. I don't know how to describe it. Anything you want to add to describe that and why that concept works?
I it's fulfilling. I want to bring it to fulfillment. It's what I've seen New Year's, and I don't care what social circle
Hmm.
you're in, start talking about this past year, and it was miserable. But most of my life, there's nobody that goes back, oh my gosh, that 1995 was the best year. Now, maybe 20 years later, they go back and look, oh my gosh, 1995 was a really good year. But the reality is, we don't, people don't look at life like that. And what brings this reality is it fulfilling?
Hmm.
If this last week that you lived, was it fulfilling? Can you talk about, and we're going to talk about years as weeks. So how about week number 18 of 2022? What was it fulfilling? And if it wasn't fulfilling, did you live week number 19? Was it just as unfulfilling? How
Hmm.
about week number 20? Was it
Hmm.
just as unfulfilling? And then you understand what I'm talking about. Is you get to the end of the year, you go, man, this year just was not a good year. It just wasn't fulfilling. You don't have to wait. You can
Yeah.
shift that paradigm and embrace the day to day, to embrace the week, to embrace the year, and it will be fulfilling.
And the invitation for us to do that is to break the expectation, the shoulds
Yeah.
of the clock, of the calendar, of the timeline. If you only get every once a year in 52-week mentality to make a new resolution, to start something over. I mean, the amount of people that just feel free to make change in their life because, oh, January is here, I can make change. Gosh, what an unfortunate reality if you made the wrong change and then you had to wait
Wait another year.
another year to go, well, I'm going to try something new next year, but I chose this year. That's why we bring this up. And this is where I'm going to touch it again. Time is a construct, but time is real. There is a reality to time, and I want to invite you into the value of that moment, and then stretch a moment out. I call it a pregnant pause in that sense that there is so much expectation and having confidence. As I say, confident expectation. That's where hope comes in, and that's in every single moment. And if you were to enjoy those moments,
Mm,
that's why it's a whole year being lived out in just 1 week.
love that.
Um, that was layered and that was rich,
Yeah.
but it's for you to come find.
Love that. And so I'm gonna share my New Year's resolutions with you guys. I'm planning to start smoking. I want to do scotch in the morning. I want to stay up late at night. I don't sleep like 4 in the morning. And I just want to, binge more stuff, like, maybe like social media.
I was thinking you were
Uh,
going to cookies. If you're, I mean, with the list, I'm going to binge cookies instead of just eating a couple.
and then, but lucky for me, I'm gonna do that for 1 day. And that's my year. And so, and just the contrast of just kind of what Casey was saying is, what are the things that we start?
Mm,
Don't go to the distance. If you recognize that you're in a pattern that's just not healthy for you, today's the day. Just get rid of it. Just
mhm.
acknowledge, going, I'm done with this. Whatever it is that you're battling, if it's health, where it's a physical ailment, and you go, I want to be physically healthy. Let's start with emotional and mental, and then the physical will come.
Yep.
And it's a journey. And I'm not making light of anything. We all deal with stuff, but we have to be mentally healthy. We have to be emotionally healthy, and physically healthy. And it's a journey. I think the Arc Path has, when I'm not well, has allowed me to celebrate this kingdom moment where
Mhm.
I am well. And so family, friends, community really help bring that together. So welcome to the Arc Path, guys.
And we're not going to do it alone.
Uh,
Bernard is here to share with you the honest reality that the scotch in the morning, the cigarettes all day, the binging of whatever, those are real. Those are real options. Those are real choices. And as he acknowledges those things, they didn't come from nowhere. They came from a draw and a tendency to not deal with time, not deal with what the choices and the impacts really are. But that's really where we're inviting you, and don't do it alone. Join us on the Arc Path. Join us for team building. Join us for Insight Line. Join us into our community and just chat, connect, and be around people that are choosing a lifestyle path to better choices. It's not our better that we are pushing on you.
no.
If where you're at is where you're at, what does better look like for you? It's a great concept, and move it one step at a time. We've been down this path, gosh, about if every week is a year, how many years credit do we get?
It's a lifetime, lifetimes.
We've already lived a
You,
lifetime
you,
on the Arc Path,
you've lived a few,
and we
a
invite
few.
you to come experience that lifetime with us.
Yes, yeah. Looking forward to more. Again, this is going to be a fun series. We're going to try to continue this rhythm, but we want to hear your rhythm. How are you celebrating newness in this new year, in this new season? And share your calendar. And this is make it real for you, and then share it with us. We'd love to hear from you guys.
It's good to be with you. We'll see you back here soon.
Take care, guys.